Welcome back to the final episode of the Summer Hikaru Died. So it's finally time to wrap up this incredible show, but I'm gonna give my full thoughts on its entirety at the end of this episode. Now, obviously, in the previous episode, we talked a lot about the mystery and the Indo sin, about like bringing a person back, but it being only a head and it dying basically that same day and stuff. Really interesting stuff. There's still a lot of questions that we have left, but some of them have been answered. Now, just another thing before going to the episode, I actually already recorded the episode and then I had some audio issues where my audio wasn't picking up on my microphone, unfortunately. So that's why I'm actually gonna just replace the old intro with this one and also the outro as well. And also some of the comments that I had in the middle of the show, or the episode, I'm gonna replace with new, basically the same thing, me saying the same thing but re-recording it. But basically throughout the entire episode, if you see me opening my mouth to say like a word or two and it's completely muted, it's because, yeah, unfortunately the audio is gone. So there might be just a few scenes where I say something and you hear nothing. So that's why. But I'm gonna re-record the other comments that I had maybe throughout the episode or my outro and add it into the show. But yeah, anyways, let's go. If you wanna watch this, I'm Katana Blood as always on Patreon in the description, and let's go into the Summer Hikaru Died, episode 12.
儀式なんて全くの無意味だったんですよ。何言うて。もっと根本的な原因があったんです。まあ僕が何とかする予定なんで、うまくいけば村人全滅は防げるでしょう。
風が気持ちいい。明日から夏休みやね。宿題やる？私は最初の1週間で終わらせてまうで。ゆうちゃんはいつも最終日に泣きながらやっとる。俺もちゃんとやろう。勉強楽しいし。さ、やっぱり光やないよね。この前見てまったんよ。光がいつもの光やなくて、声も朝子さ、前からさ、そういう俺に直接言わん方がええよ。アホやろ。言わんよ、誰にも。光が光やないの怖いし変や。よしきがそれでもいつも通りにしとるのも変。私にはできやん。なんか全部が変や。でもね、なんでか今の光のこと全然嫌いになれやんの。朝子の耳壊してしもうたのに。そうやそうや。あん時はごめん。朝子にはもう何もせんってよしきと約束したから。誰も殺さんってのも。本当に人やないんやね。なあ、光はどっかで生きとったりしやんの？しやん。もうこの体したいやね。そっか。なんとなくそうやろな。そっか。光はこうやってみんなに悲しんでもらうべきやったんや。俺がおるから誰もこうやって悲しまへん。それは光の願い通りやけど、もし俺がおらんかったら、よしきはみんなと一緒に悲しんで、今より苦しくなかったんかな。そしたらみんなで前向いて、ちゃんと大学のこととか考えて楽しく過ごせたんかな。なんか悪いことしとったんやな。ごめんな。
危ないで。
かわいい。
カオルちゃんもはよお嫁さんになって元気な赤ちゃん産まんとな。
女の子なんやな。まだ学校行っとらんのやって。
はい。
無理していかんでも女の子やしな。よしきは彼女おらんのか。前髪切らんと女にモテやんぞ。
いや。光、どうしたん？いや、今から出かけん。この間のあれ、ごめんな。何回お前に殺されかけたと思っとる。
あんま守ったら行き詰まって死んどった。居場所に執着する気持ち、ようわかる。俺にも居場所があるはずやって思いたい。どっか、ここやない場所に。
So actually what I was saying here is I absolutely love how they're mixing in the real life shots with the anime characters. It makes it seem like outerworldly, makes it seem like it doesn't belong there. And I think it's a very deliberate choice by Takashita Ryohei to use those real life textures, real life shots in mixing in the anime characters, which makes it feel like, as they're talking about, like otherworldly stuff, like that feeling of not belonging, these characters not belonging in this world, this kind of environment. It's really cool. I love it.
一番可愛いのって言うとったし、ぴったりやろ。めちゃくちゃ邪魔や。空気抜いて畳めばええに。なんかかわいそうやろ、オオサンショウウオが。そうはいとる。
So I was saying that it kind of reminds me of the way that Madoka does it with the witches and the witches labyrinth, how it makes it seem like it is very much outerworldly and doesn't belong in this world, and it's a very cool design choice.
肝心の汚れをどうにかする方法がわからん。なんとかせんと。村も町も。あのスケッチも一体、次から次へとわからんことが出てくる。いや、そもそも。屋敷、見て。ダンス。だいぶ慣れたな。ミンチ。あとちょっとやったな。あいつ、チュール目当てが意外と力強え。なあ、こんなとこでずっと考えとってもしゃあないで。今から海行かん？一回くらい見ときたいね。
Kind of reminds me of the episode where they went traveling with the, school choir at the beginning and stuff like that. Kind of similar structure to the actual episode as this one. What is that previous one? I really like that shot, so let me go back and see that shot again of the eyes. It looked so interesting. Like, look at how the Oh, look at how they kept the eye contact for so long.
合唱コン出やんくて怒ったりしとったかな。もし出とったら楽しかったりして。歌詞のさ、この胸を躍らせる未来こそ今ってとこが熱いやん。ほか静かに歌う引き寄せてごらん。歌詞が全然ちゃう。確かに話してみてごらん。過ぎ去った花見は戻らなくてもこの胸を踊らせる未来こそ今。俺は死に際の光の誰も悲しまなければええのに、yoshikiを一人にさせたない。そういう願いを叶えたからこうなった。光のでも悪い、その願いは多分果たせやん。俺山に戻ろうと思うね。
I didn't know that.
最近yoshikiを襲ってしまうのはさ、多分俺の本性が出たからやね。自分の空っぽな部分を埋めたくて魂が欲しくなる。人にはようわからんよな。もともとこういう存在なんやと思う。人もたくさん殺しとるし、また殺してしまうかもしれん。でもyoshikiは殺したないから。ちょっと待て。俺が山に戻ればさ、yoshikiが生きてる間くらいは平和になるはず。はあ、無理やろ、あかんやろ。何のために必死で調べて。バケモンはおらんくなって、お前は光の死を受け入れて人として生きていくんや。めでたしめでたし。お前ここにいたんやろ。アホやないの。俺に渡した半分はどうすんの。知らへんお前が簡単にその体から離れられんのか。それはわからん。ほら結局具体的なことは決まっとらんやん。そんな無計画な話に乗れんわ。でもそれしか打ってないやろ。何が正解かもわからんけどせ。そんなことまで覚えんでもええわ。もっとずうずうしいままで俺や。光はさ、聖火が好きやったけど、俺はアイスが一番好きや。しかもガチガチくんやなくてアピッコな。多分俺のが猫好き。あと映画もつまらん映画なんて一つもなかったわ。光は勉強嫌いやったけど俺は好き。まあできへんのやけどな。やめろって。俺はさ、やめてください。yoshikiとおるのほんまに楽しかった。お前にとっては光の代わりやったかもしれんけど、こんな俺にたくさんのものをくれた。俺はyoshikiが大好きや。この気持ちは恋でも友情でもないんやろな。きっと人間のどの感情ともちゃう。それでもさ、ちゃんと俺の気持ちやで。光やなくてバケモンの俺の。違う、普通になれやんくて。バケモンは息がしづらくて、俺や自分自身をずっと隠してきた。やからこいつが救われてほしいって。お前とおると俺も救われるから。結局ただのエゴやん。俺は光のため村のためって責任 がとうな。
違う、代わりとかっちゃお前諦めとるだけやろ。前向きにとか今更押し付けてくんな。光の選択は何も間違ってない。お前のためにどんだけ頑張ってきたと思っとんねん。俺とは違う、本物の化け物なんやから。
俺やって帰りたないわ。
化け物はおらんくなってめでたしめでたしもって何のために今まで。いやいや、
だからもうええって言うたらや。山に帰るんやから。
勝手なこと言ってんやないわ。
俺から化け物から解放されてお前にとってもええことやろが。
ああ、俺も化け物や。普通になれやんくて全部ただのエゴでもいっつも本当の自分をバレやんように隠して生きとる。光が人殺しやとしてもお前と光と一緒に。眩しい日差しがまたこの身を焼き尽くしたから。光の代わりなんかやないよ。俺はただお前に消えてほしないだけの最低の自己中クソ野郎や。
何や、そうやったんか。今さらそんな言われてもさ。
さよならあなたじゃなくてこれからその手の温度さえ変わらないで。
お父さんショーあんなとこまで流されとる。ほら家に持って帰らんとカオルがマジで。
いらんわ、あんまま遠くまで流されるわえ。
屋敷の方がガキやな。
Don't you dare end it here. Please don't end it here. Please, there must be another scene. Here we go. And that is the end of the episode. What a way to end it. No, I was wishing, I was saying that I hope we get more scenes or another scene and not end it on that note that we did before the final scene. But then they introduced a even bigger cliffhanger. No, I take it back. Anyways, so let me talk about this episode first, and then let me talk about the show in its entirety. So first of all, this episode was so good. The direction of some of the shots in this was phenomenal. It is very reminiscent of that one episode where they went on a trip as well, right? It starts off with the choir, and then they go on a trip. It's obviously a bit of a different vibe and stuff. So one thing that I found out that I should have picked up earlier about Yoshiki's character, I feel like, and yeah, I feel like this should be obvious to me earlier, but I don't know why I couldn't pick it up. But now I saw it, especially in this episode, is how Yoshiki, like the reason why Yoshiki feels so close to Hikaru is it feels like it's because he feels like Hikaru is almost the same as Yoshiki, right? Because Yoshiki is very much, he did some horrible stuff, or not horrible stuff, but stuff that put his friends and people close to him and other people in danger by feigning ignorance over some stuff, right? And him being like, I know that Hikaru is a monster, but I am not saying, I'm not gonna tell anyone. And then he made up an excuse for it, right? Or he just kind of like thought that entire conundrum that he had away and was like, let's go to sleep. Let's take some pills. Let's go to sleep, right? Without thinking too much about it, or at least trying not to think too much about it, right? And I feel like he very much related to the monster side of Hikaru, or at least Hikaru being a monster who's keeping that monster side inside of him and showing the people only his human side, right? So I feel like the more that Hikaru actually became that monster and was putting on a front in front of other people, the more Yoshiki actually felt drawn to him because he felt more of a connection. He felt like they were actually very similar in that aspect, which I didn't pick up until they talked about it in this episode more in depth, right? Which is really interesting, right? That's a really interesting connection that they have there. And yeah, that's so cool. Apart from that, I wonder how true the entire thing with Tanaka is, that Tanaka was talking about, Nonoki not existing. We knew that Nonoki is, or at least that Nonoki was kind of like a code name for Cinnabar that they were using as a abortion pill or for abortion medicine back in the day. And what I imagined happened was Nonoki actually, you know, they were talking about Nonoki as a god, as a being or stuff like that. And they, because they were deifying it, it ended up becoming an actual deity. I thought it was kind of like a deification of an idea, right? Because I believe in like Shintoist beliefs, basically everything has like a soul. And if everything has a soul, everything can basically be deified. I'm not 100% sure how it works, but I think that's kind of like part of the Shintoist belief. I could be wrong though. But yeah, I thought that it was just the idea of Nonoki-sama becoming deified and becoming a god in itself. But it seems like it's probably not a god. It wasn't a god at all, if what Tanaka said is to be believed, right? I guess we'll find out more. I don't want to speculate too much on that because I feel like we're gonna find out more in this meeting here that we teased at the end of the episode, but I guess we'll find out. I do wonder how much manga of this is left, if it's still ongoing, if there is enough material for season 2, if anything with season 2 has been announced or not. I'm not keeping up with those kind of announcements currently, so I guess we'll see. We'll find out. I beg to God that there is a season 2 eventually, because this has been incredible. So I think this entire show in its entirety was absolutely fantastic. It was, apart from Takupi's Original Sin, it was my favorite anime airing this season for sure. I feel like Takupi's Original Sin is kind of like unfair. That kind of more felt like a movie, a mini series, very condensed. So I feel like it's hard to compare, but I think this is, when it comes to like full-length series, I guess, this is definitely my favorite series airing this season. It was absolutely incredible. It's been a while since we got a horror anime that I actually felt compelled and unnerved by. I don't think it's necessarily like one of those anime that jump scares you or is actually terrifying, but the ideas in it are so unnerving. And I think the best show of that feeling is that one episode where they go on a trip, right? I don't remember exactly which episode it was, but it was the episode where Yoshiki was planning on killing Hikaru or dying himself, which I feel like he was leaning more towards the latter than anything else, right? So that entire episode was the most unnerving one, the most tense one, and my favorite one out of the entire show when it comes to a full episode. But just, I think my favorite part of the show is actually the direction of it. Ryohei Takeshita, I believe his name is, the director, he's one of the most talented directors in all of anime, even though some of the content that he, or like some of the animes that he's made aren't like the best received anime. I think in every single one of his anime that he has done that I've seen, the direction has been incredible. Absolutely incredible direction. And I think this one, so far, it's his magnum opus from what I've seen. I think this is one of the best directed anime in a long time. I think it's an incredible anime. I think the direction is a very, very, very big contributor to the feeling of unease that this anime conveys, right? I think some of the scenes that really stand out, well, in this episode we saw just how long the eye contact was lingering from Hikaru, and I think that in itself was such a cool scene of Hikaru just ever so, like, moving away his eyes from Yoshiki a bit too slowly, and it makes you feel, oh, that was weird, and I think that was very much intentional and very well done. I think also there was a scene with, I think, what's her name? Was it Yuki? Is that her name? The girl with the ponytails. I don't have my notes here with me. There was a scene when she was coming up to the classroom, and the scene or the camera was positioned above the classroom door. So you know the classroom sign that is above the door. It was blocking out her head, so it was just her body and then her head being blocked out by the sign. And I don't know why, but that shot felt. It was so weird, but so good. Like just her head being covered by the sign and just her body being shown approaching the door. It was such a cool shot. And then obviously I think the one best shot, my favorite shot, like when it comes to like one single shot in this show that I think made me so immersed in it in the first place was the shot in the grocery store, right? That was that one shot where it showed the panic that Yoshiki was feeling, right? And those feelings bottling up and like just everything happening and his head almost like exploding and him trying to just get out of the store, get out of the everything that was happening there, because there was a shot that was going to the air conditioner and the air conditioner blowing out, and then I think there was like a radio or something that was talking, and then it was going to the grocery lady talking to, I forgot what it was called, talking to Yoshiki and stuff like that, and you could just see Yoshiki like being overwhelmed by everything happening and just trying to get out of there, just trying to give her the coins so he can go out. And it was an incredible shot that conveys the panic he was feeling in that moment so well. Wow. Oh my god. What an incredible direction for the show. So anyways, I think all in all, this has been an absolute treat of a show. Absolutely fantastic. Loved it from beginning to end. And I can't wait for more, but for now, I guess this is gonna be it. So the last thing that I want to say is the support on these videos has been incredible. Like, it blew me out of the water how much support these videos have gotten, especially from the get-go. I wasn't expecting it. So I appreciate you guys for not just the views and the likes, but also the positive comments that you guys have given on these videos. It made it so much more enjoyable to just go and record these videos because I knew that you guys seem to be enjoying it as well. So thank you guys for that. I really appreciate it. But for now, I'm gonna end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.